Growing up, I was led to believe that the only way to be successful was to take the traditional route. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to me when I say that. Okay, a lot of people are told by their teachers, by their parents, by their friends even, that they have to take the traditional route to be successful. Now, what is the traditional route? The traditional route is you go to school, you get good grades, or even just decent grades, and you go to college, you get good grades in college, or at the very least, get a degree, and then you get a good job, you work until you're 65, and hopefully at that point you're able to retire, and then you can start enjoying your life. Now, deep down, I always knew that that idea did not resonate with me at all. Okay, the idea of waiting until you're 65 to live your best life sounded idiotic to me. Okay, it sounded terrible. It did not sound like a life worth living. And I think that that's a big part of the reason why I was depressed for a good minute. It's because I was trying to fit into that lifestyle that other people created for me, when in reality, I was not meant to live that type of lifestyle. That's not to say that I'm better or too good for the 9 to 5. It's just not for me. It's just not for me. I'm not meant to do that. Some people are. But I had to be honest with myself and realize that I am not meant to do that. Now, with that being said, I went through my whole childhood believing that that's how my life was going to go. And the idea of that scared me. Okay, it scared me immensely because, like I said, that lifestyle was not meant for me, and I knew that, but I didn't see any alternative. So literally up until the time that I graduated high school in 2018, I went through my life believing that that's the lifestyle that I was going to live. All of that changed after I graduated high school. Okay, between when I graduated high school, which was January 2018, to the time that I went to college, which was August 2018, that's when I was introduced to the idea of working for yourself. Okay, I was introduced to the ideas of entrepreneurship. I was introduced to the idea of passive income. And these ideas intrigued me because they made me feel like my dream life was possible. A life where I can set my own schedule and live by my own terms without having a boss per se. And, I began to fall further and further into this rabbit hole. And, I was reading books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and watching all of these videos from these gurus and things like that. And it changed my mindset. Okay, it changed my mindset to where by the time I went to college, I knew that I was not going to finish. Okay, I knew going into college that I was not going to get my degree. I pretty much knew I was going to drop out. And I kind of kept it to myself, because I didn't want the people around me to look at me differently or think that I was wasting my life away. But I knew that I was going to drop out from before I even went to college. And the reason why I knew it is because I didn't even want to go to college in the first place. I knew that college was not the route to get to where I was trying to go. I looked at the trends. I looked at the people that were feeding me that information, and I realized that college is not a viable path to get to that point as quickly as possible. You can work for yourself even if you have a degree, but it's just not really efficient. It's not necessary. So I knew that I was going to drop out of college, but I still went. I wanted to give it a chance. And truth be told, I wanted to talk to girls too. I wanted to talk to girls and I wanted to give college a fair shot. So I went to community college. I quickly realized that I made a mistake. Okay, I made a mistake, and that's when I fell into depression for the first time. Okay, I was depressed and I didn't know what this feeling was. I had never been depressed before up to this point. So to wake up every day and not want to get out of bed. Okay, I literally did not want to live my life anymore. Life no longer felt worth living to me because, I was waking up just to do something that I didn't want to do every single day. And what I realized is that I'm doing this right now so that I can do something else that I don't want to do every single day for basically the rest of my life. And like I said, that idea alone kept me in bed most days. And eventually, it got to the point where I realized I'm going to have to drop out of school. Okay, I'm going to have to drop out of school. Now, like I said, even though I knew deep down that I did not want to go to school and that school did not serve me on my path, I was still nervous. I had 18 years worth of conditioning to tell me otherwise, to tell me that, I was making a big mistake and that I was never going to be anything because of this decision. But I decided to do it anyways. I decided to do it anyways. And it wasn't like a gradual, like, maybe I will, maybe I won't. One day I literally just went online and dropped all of my classes for that next semester. And I remember I went and told my parents that I dropped out. I told them that I dropped out of school. But I also told them that I could potentially go back to school. So basically, I made it seem like I was taking a gap semester, when in reality, I knew I was never going back. Okay, I knew from the moment that I dropped those classes, the feeling that that gave me, I knew that I was not going back to school. Now, one common misconception I feel like about me when it comes to dropping out of school is that I dropped out of school to do YouTube. That is not the case. Okay, if I ever said that in the past, that's not what I meant. Okay, I never dropped out of school strictly to do YouTube. I dropped out of school to work for myself. By the time I dropped out of school, I think I might have posted like 2 videos, and I had no intentions of being a YouTuber. Okay, I didn't even think I could do this. So, literally that first video that I made where I was talking to the camera, that why I dropped out of school video, that's when I figured out that I wanted to be a YouTuber. And had I not dropped out of school, I never would have made that video. I never would have figured out that I wanted to be a YouTuber because I wouldn't have anything to talk about. So, for me to reject that 18 years worth of conditioning to follow my dreams and, start creating the life that I want to create with just that one video, that right there was the turning point in my life. Okay, that was the first time that I truly bet on myself. And obviously, that's paid off quite a bit. But at the time, I didn't know that. I didn't know what was going to happen. I just had a gut feeling. I had a dream. And I knew that college was not the move for me. Now, as I went further along on my YouTube journey, I realized that, I need to get more equipment. I was not comfortable filming and editing and posting off of my phone. Some people can do that. I can't. I need the best equipment. I want to produce the best possible videos that I can. So I realized that I needed to invest in equipment. Now, obviously, equipment is very expensive. It can all add up. I'm not going to tell you guys how much money each individual item is, but I will tell you that I have spent over $3,000. I've spent over $3,000 on equipment and software for my YouTube channel. And I spent the majority of that money before I got monetized. So, that's another example of me betting on myself. I realized that I'm going to be successful because, I'm putting all of my energy and attention into this, but I need to invest into my craft. I need to invest in myself, in my business, and, really produce the best content that I can so that my channel can go to that next level that I want it to go to. And, like I said, I wasn't monetized at the time. So I was using money that I had saved up from old jobs. And eventually I went broke and I had to start working again. I had to go get a job at H&M, which that job wasn't necessarily bad, but it served as a bit of a wake-up call to help me remember why I dropped out of school in the first place, is so that I could avoid working at a job. So, I made the best of my situation at H&M. I got some of my friends to work with me. I was making more money than I ever had at any other job. It was going pretty well. But eventually, after maybe 8 or 9 months, I realized that I wasn't going to last much longer there. And for a while, I kept this to myself because just like, with dropping out of school, I was scared. I was scared of what others would think of me. I was scared that they would doubt me, which they did. People doubted me. Once I started to tell people that, I wanted to quit my job, almost everyone told me, don't do it. You need money. How are you going to get money? And, those were valid concerns. Those were logical, valid concerns looking back. I had like $600 to my name. I had like 700 subscribers on YouTube, nowhere near getting monetized. But I just had a gut feeling. My gut told me it's time to quit. It's time to quit and it's time to go all in. You have no real reason to work here anymore, aside from providing a false sense of security. And eventually I quit. Like I said, everyone told me not to do it, but I did it anyways. And I was scared. I was super scared. Just like I was when I dropped out of school. I was scared. It felt good. It felt very good to put in my 2 weeks notice. It felt very good to drop those classes. But that doesn't mean I wasn't scared when I did these things. Every time I take a chance on myself, I'm scared. There's that fear of failure deep down within me from that conditioning that I received, from those ideas that I chose to buy into. But the key is I do it anyways. Everyone gets scared. Everyone gets scared when they take that leap of faith. The difference is successful people do it anyways. Whenever I quit my job, I began to get into a lot more motivational videos because I needed them at the time. And I remember one thing that Steve Harvey in particular said. He said that at some point or another, you're going to have to take that leap of faith. You're going to have to take a chance on yourself. And you're going to have to jump off that cliff. And eventually, your parachute will open. But you have to trust that it will. You have to understand that most people are not willing to take that leap of faith. And so they'll never know. They'll never know that, their parachute, which is, your gift, your purpose, that will save you when times get tough. Even though you may go through some tough situations, money may get tight and you may end up homeless for a little bit. But you have to trust that at some point or another, things will work out for you as long as you're within your purpose. You have to take that leap of faith. Otherwise, your parachute will never open. You'll just be on that cliff and you'll be left wondering what could have been if you took that leap of faith.